Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Azim, featuring Jade, Gwen, Gwenisha, Ibita, Gwyneth Paltrow, CPL Johnson.
Morning, Kevin. What up, my dude?
Good I am. You?
I art well.
I was gonna say gracias, but then I realized that's not how that works.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of the wrong language. Do you ever know like two words in a language and then you drop the two words and then the person you're talking to actually know the language and then you're just kind of stuck when they continue?
Yeah, me too sometimes. Yeah, and all I remember, well, from Mrs. Martin, Patricia Martin. She used to teach me English in Spanish in convent school, and she gave us like the basic greeting. So it's like, ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias, y tú? And he's like, after that, so that's all like that really stuck with me, like fluently. And sometimes I would do it, people would answer, and then when I done, they continue, and I'm like, no.
That was not an invitation to continue the entire conversation in whatever
and
language.
It usually ends with like, oh, you were speaking it so well, I thought you knew it. So it's like, no, I've just said it many times to become good at saying that.
I'm fluent in this phrase.
That's fluent in this phrase. That's all.
What's going on here? Let me see. I feel like I see what's happening. Yeah, there we go.
I still want a dog. Just random plug. I just have to say it.
What type of dog you feeling lately?
Everybody that knows me / the Hanleys know that we've had Rottweilers forever.
Mm-hmm.
I've had Rottweilers for my whole life. They're the only dog I've ever, the only dog I've ever had. And I love Rottweilers, love Rottweilers. But I'm now leaning to, so a Rottweiler is a medium-sized dog, believe it or not.
Right.
They're classed as a medium-sized dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning more towards a Bernese Mountain Dog. It's a big dog. It's a large-sized dog, and it's big, it's fluffy, and the colors remind me of a Rottweiler, which is why I still, I like that dog. So, but I'm actually like, I'm considering getting both, like a Rottweiler and a Bernese Mountain Dog.
I've been on a bulldog I love kick recently, but I like the old English bulldogs, those fat ugly slobbery dogs. They're just so cute. I'm gonna send you a video. But those, and there's these miniature American bulldogs that look like bodybuilders, but they're just like mini.
And they're very buff.
Yeah, buff and boxy. Yeah, bro.
And they stand up like they got both. Like, like they're trying to fight you.
But they're just so playful. They just and I'm talking about the mini ones, like the little mini ones that look like they smell like chihuahuas, but they're bulldogs.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh. I have a friend who breeds them in the US, and he sells them from anywhere from $20,000 to $80,000 to $80,000 US a pop.
They're not cheap at all.
I mean,
really want a dog.
I'm really working on our friendship to see if we become good enough friends to give me one, but I doubt it.
You could be like, oh, let me create a Caribbean chapter.
Yeah.
And then just be like, oh no, the marketing here for it. So I'll just keep these two.
But fun fact, a lot of these dogs are illegal in St. Kitts, like you're not supposed to import them.
So my thing is, I think we need to stop stigmatizing dogs, and people can listen to me and be like, "Why was shipping this you're chatting?" Dogs react to how you breed them.
Yes.
If you raise a dog to be aggressive, it will be aggressive. Down to a Chihuahua, you could breed it to be the most loving Chihuahua, and it will be aggressive if given the right circumstances. All dogs have the potential to be. But it's up to you to decide whether that you utilize that potential to be aggressive or not.
Yeah.
Like my dogs were Rottweilers. I had 3 at one point, big, massive Rottweilers, and they were always fine. Yep. I could lie down on them if I wanted to, like a pillow. I could hug them. All they wanted to do was play. They would fight with each other when, you know, when the female was in heat. But other than that, they're just chilling. Like, they also were raised to be guard dogs, so they were not responsive to strangers.
Right.
But if you were not a stranger,
family is family.
Given the opportunity to meet and greet the dog, then you were fine. So it's just like, I don't understand why we're breeding. I understand that we're banning sometimes because certain dogs are known for being used for certain things.
Right.
But I hope that's the premise of banning the dogs, and not because the dog is an aggressive breed.
Yeah,
it's like if you ban pit bulls because it's like, oh, you know, we've seen a lot of people bring pit bulls in for fighting, so we're just gonna ban pit bulls. Then okay, I could understand that. Still ain't like it, but I could understand it. But if it's like we're not bringing in, y'all can't bring in pit bulls because they are aggressive, then it's a no.
Yeah, and
it's a getter for me.
Yeah, I really think a lot of the banning has to do with stigmas, a stigma attached to certain breeds. Not recognizing, like you pointed out, it kind of depends on how the dog is raised and the environment the dog comes up in. That really determines the temperament of the animal. So yeah. But yeah, I always felt like it was crazy. Like, you saw the video I sent you? Check your Instagram.
Oh, you're gonna add to my Instagram? Yes. I just said I'm flipping through.
But yeah, like,
see, they're just so cute.
I wonder, why would that dog be banned? Like, right. Come on. I should be able.
Honestly, all dogs want is human company. To be honest, they've become so domesticated. Brother, all they want to do is be around people.
You know, there was something I saw yesterday, and it really demonstrated to me. But this is so funny. We happen to be talking about dogs after I made this observation yesterday. So I was driving in this particular community yesterday, and there was this guy who obviously is dealing with some sort of mental illness. And for about an hour, well, at least I met him there, and I was in the area for about an hour. And from the time I saw him, he was taking up stones in a vacant lot and putting them in a pile in the middle of the vacant lot. Right? And he's talking to himself, having what seemed to be a very aggressive, well, I don't know if he was talking to himself, but he was speaking to somebody that I couldn't see. And it was a very aggressive conversation. So much so at one point I was considering moving my vehicle because I didn't know if he was piling up the stones for what was to be for what was going to be an impending battle. But thankfully there was no violence, at least while I was there. I don't know if I left prior to breakdown of negotiations. But he's there and he's doing this, and the whole time his trusty companion, who looked like a black what do you call those dogs again? It's not a Labrador. It looked like a Labrador. Like, it looks like a Labrador. It probably isn't, but that's what it looked like. Right? So it's probably something like a Mastiff mixed with something. And the dog just sits there for the entire time, right? And just supports his master, like just relaxing. Like, he's there having the biggest argument one could have, walking around, picking up stones, piling them up. The dog was there waiting, like, for, okay, this is what we're doing now, no problem, I need to school in here.
You see why I tell you that dogs will love you in a way humans could never do?
Yep.
A dog's the definition of unconditional love. And my thing is, with mom,
you know the funny thing about that?
I don't think mommy know, but she probably vexed if she had find out at the time. I used to be home by myself on Saturdays because I didn't really want to go nowhere.
Right.
And I used to open the front door to the living room, and the dog used to lay down in the doorway. They never used to come inside, but I used to put a head on the door, on the the door ledge thing, and they just like watch me for hours. They just sit there, and they would sometimes get up, go back at a stranger, and come back and just lay down there.
Right.
And that's all they want to do is just be around you. They don't care in what way. They just want to be around you.
Yep. The other thing that make that is very like, you ever seen like dogs interact with babies?
Oh yeah, it's so sweet.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
I'm gonna go buy a dog. I'm gonna buy one now.
You're gonna buy one now? Like right now?
Yeah, I'm going to check Amazon.
Yo, Amazon just now gonna start selling dogs. I'm telling you, they're done selling everything else.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure dogs on Amazon, and we don't know.
Yeah, they probably got like a slash, like it's like Amazon.com/something, and then you get to the dog section.
They're probably being sold as something else.
Bro, you could buy an island on Amazon, like a literal island. You could buy a house. You could buy a house on Amazon.
Anything is on Amazon. Amazon's global monopoly is insane.
Oh boy. Oh, let's see what's going on. But yeah,
here we are.
Bro, you got any guests to go in?
I just realized we ain't going no gears because I was just pure happiness this morning. Oh yeah, that was my gear. Stop telling people dogs are aggressive. Dogs are not aggressive. Dogs are bred to be aggressive.
Speaking of aggressiveness, that is my gear for this morning. Now, let me preface this by saying I can't tell nobody how to raise their children. But I do believe that one can observe patterns and recognize certain outcomes as being likely. Right? So last night I'm chilling I'm at a friend's place, and there's some commotion at his neighbor's place, right? Now, generally, I really and truly, they just don't care. Like, I really don't care what they be going on in people's house. Like, you hear some people, like, I am not listening in to hear what the argument is about. Like, yeah. People get angry, people shout, that's normal human behavior.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
And it ain't my business. Not because the houses just happen to be close enough that when your cell phone ring, I run in for mine. It ain't that it don't matter. So we're there, and then it started taking a dark turn where you could tell he was obviously an adult angry with a child over whatever, and then the licks start. Now, again, can't tell about it with the children, but at the same time, and again, I don't know, for people listening, this has nothing to do with whether you believe in, subscribe to, support corporal punishment or not. My issue is when parents discipline, especially physically, out of frustration and violence.
Mm-hmm. And aggression.
That is the thing that is really just like, hold on there, because I just get a message that just like throw me out. throw me out. Anyway, so yeah, so what was happening is you could hear the shouting, you could hear the anger, you could hear the frustration, and then the licks start. Though the licks start in a way where it's like, you know how the licks just punctuate, how the licks, okay, it's like this intricate dance of licks, arguing and bad word. And
the pause in licks is the like the what you call the telegram sentences.
Yes, exactly. It's like Morse code with licks. Is like dash 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 dot dash 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 dot is like licks 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 bad word licks 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 bad word licks 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 abuse your father. But yeah, like an idea, and it's like I could feel with every sequence a little bit of my soul is slipping away. But I feel so bad. Because you could sense the frustration of the parent, right? Mm-hmm. But the problem is, in those moments, I do believe that the lesson that should be learned gets lost because it's overshadowed by abuse. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, why I know anything about it too. I think it must be said that this is a young child. We're talking the child. When I asked the fellow about was by like how old the child is, bad man said I can't be more than 10 primary school still. And man, and this is one of the things that I don't blame that particular parent for. I believe that as a society we have not taught ourselves how to manage emotions properly. Like always, we always talk about things that need to be taught in school, and we talk about financial literacy and stuff like that. Like emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence needs to be a class, people.
Like we don't have Christian living and.
I think don't get me started on that subject there.
Classes and put in some more important.
Where are we teaching Christian living instead of ethics?
Because I don't understand why ethics in a class. I don't understand why financial literacy in a class.
But that is
I don't understand why. Like, because my thing is, we just think about it. We talked about this before, but think about it. You know nothing about a loan or credit card until the day you walk into a bank to apply for one.
Brother.
And when you apply for one, you still don't know how it works. Unless you do your own personal research, you have no idea what our bank account works. You have no idea how the banking system works.
I was about to say the banking system.
Anything works.
Look, I was talking to somebody yesterday and was mentioning to them that I thinking I'm going to go and look for another life insurance policy. One of those that pay out after X amount of years and thing. Because in the Caribbean, there's not a lot of like financial investment opportunities, like especially when you start talking about planning for retirement and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I'm talking to them about it, and this is a big person in the 30s, have no idea that these types of things exist. So I asked them, I said, you have life insurance? They said, yes, I have life insurance because I had to get it when I was going to college.
Yeah.
So that's generally what has happened with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
They get life insurance attached to the loan.
Else.
Yeah, to the loan. Yeah. And it's like, what? You're still paying a student loan? Yes. But you have kids? Yes. So how does that work? He said, but me, yes. I said, maybe you need to find out.
And that's also why these financial institutions has capitalized on us so much. They use our lack of knowledge against us because they present things in a certain way and they sort of mumble off the terms and conditions. And they give you this big packet of paperwork that explains exactly how this works, but they know you ain't gonna read it. because they know that you are relying on them to explain it to you. So they just give you, yeah, man, it's a life insurance policy. If this happen, you get this.
Not only
There's
that,
a bunch of fine print that tells you that you can't get this,
right.
this, and this happen.
Right.
And then you just go about it. And then when something does happen, and then it's this giant, oh, how come I can't get the money? They just point it to the paper like, well, you see, you didn't meet this requirement, so sorry.
And the thing is, they know that a lot of times, especially young people, we walk into these institutions because it's a step to get to something else. So like I said, we're going to college, we're getting a loan, we have to get life insurance. So it's just like, okay, I just need some life insurance. You understand? They're like, watch you know much people right now, life insurance coming out, and the ex that they had before the last before the last ex-wife is the person who is the beneficiary and the thing, because that's who they was with when they got the life insurance.
And they never updated it.
And
they never updated it. One of my friends here, the person he was dating, they broke up and everything, and the ex had their car insurance in my friend's name.
Oh, yes.
Never changed it.
Of course
they
not.
don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, accident happens.
Of course.
Payout goes to my friend, and my friend is like,
Why is
this? And then, of course, ex calls and is like, hey, I need the money for the insurance. And my friend is like, No, the part of me that is filled with morality is telling me to give this to you. But part of me wants to know, why was my name still there?
The petty part, yeah. The petty part. But my thing is, who's driving the car? You're driving the car, you better start it out.
Who's driving the car? From the insurance,
Yeah.
But,
so, like I was saying,
I just wish we'd teach and learn more, because it's kind of like ridiculous. Like,
I think in the moment, Kevin, like, I understand frustration. Like, sometimes when it comes to disciplining children, sometimes you really just need to take time, walk away from the situation, so that you don't bring your anger. You don't bring your anger to the disciplinary table, because that's what can come out, and children know. Like we don't remember the lesson. We remember don't make mommy and daddy angry. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that does not include changing behavior. It just means you need to hide better.
Yeah.
It just increases deception. That's all. It just increases deception.
Yeah. When I had a conversation with somebody a while back about the whole, why aren't we taught certain things in school? And they were like, oh, well, I believe that certain things aren't taught because that's like, something for the parents to be able to teach. I'm like, no. How do you expect persons who are still trying to figure it out to teach what they don't understand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because we, our batch in we late 20s to mid 30s, and we still figuring out how certain things work.
Yep.
How are we supposed to teach our children this? So then we teach them, oh, this is how alone work. Then in a week you realize that alone, throw you a curveball, and you're like, so that's actually not how it works. And then you have to go back and like, why can't the professionals teach this thing so that there's a proper understanding? But it's not the responsibility, because there's also those parents who never have to involve in certain things. There's some parents who don't take loans. There's some parents who don't have credit cards.
Yep.
So how do you expect them to teach things they don't engage in?
But you see, you mentioned one there that is a pet peeve of mine, like the Christian living. The Christian living class is a big. That is a huge
like an ethics class.
Yes, ethics and morality. Now, why not Christian living? Okay, so let me start off on this premise. So the premise is that we have morality not because of religion, but in spite of religion. Right? So in other words, had there not been a Bible, I think people would still know that you probably shouldn't sleep with your neighbor's wife. Like, I don't think we needed the book to tell us that. Like, you understand where I'm coming from? Right? So, the reason why
that's
I think
a morality thing. And
yes.
I think it's easier to teach morality than Christian living.
Right. So then what happens when you frame it as such? The backdrop is religion. What happens when children either come from a different background or don't subscribe to that religion? Right?
They basically associate all of these lessons with the religion, which can end up being, well, I don't,
because it's taught that way.
I won't follow these values.
Yeah, but it's taught that way. It's taught that this is the way that you should act because of religion. So if I don't subscribe to the religion, then why should I act that way? You know what I'm saying? Not only that, I think you actually do the religion a disservice, because it then becomes easier to reject it because it's taught in a way that comes off as pure indoctrination. It feels like you're trying to indoctrinate me. And so, of course, what happens is there's obvious pushback from persons. So they don't just push back on one part of the teaching, they push back on the teaching altogether. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's maybe I have a different idea in my head. My thing is, you want to teach children ethics, codes, principles, morality, and not indoctrinate them to a certain religion, one or the other. But maybe the goal is to indoctrinate them to a certain religion, so then the whole maybe that's what's going on. But yeah, I really wish we would teach children emotional intelligence, I think this would go a long way in conflict resolution. I think it will go a long way in violence, come on.
There's so many things we could teach children that are useful skills. A lesson in conflict resolution, a lesson in mediation, a lesson in conversation. Like when you're speaking, and I think that would help so much when you're speaking, allow somebody to finish their sentences before you interject.
Yeah.
And all these tiny things, and then now let's practice.
Yeah.
And you practice, like, there's so many things.
And this is the thing, if you teach this to young children, right? Young children just hold each other accountable to things that they learn in class, eh? Like, you don't hear children literally just be like, teachers, then they say, no, and they're serious, like, like, teacher so-and-so say when you feel angry that we should stop and count to 10. So let's stop and count to 10. Because you seem like you're angry.
And children also love exercising what they've learned, especially to like adults. Children are always coming home and telling you, oh, I learned this, did you know this, or look, my teacher showed me this. So you don't think that would help? That children would definitely absorb that and use that.
Yeah. And the thing for me, right, Kevin, what you said, and I look at it a different way, or slightly different. When you said certain things aren't taught in school because it's the responsibility of the parents, I think that what's happening is that the parents are teaching the children. They're just not teaching them the right thing. Because they're giving out of their own lack. So you see your parents, not necessarily good with money. Like, they don't really know. Like, they don't know these things. They don't know, but they're teaching you something. They're teaching you Christmas time, spend your last dollar, and then January try to figure out how you're going to pay the bills.
And I think there's just so many things. I don't know, it's something we talk about a lot, but the reason we talk about a lot is because it's so simple and it's so useful. There's so many things we could teach children, like class savings, a saving system, where you earn money based on tasks or good deeds, or children get stickers. Like, instead of stickers, you could give them a Monopoly dollar. Then they bank it, or if they do something bad, they get $1 taken away. Something that teaches them, ethics, while also teaching them finances in the end. Like, you don't have any money right now, so you can't do anything. Or you have a lot saved up, you can do this and this and this. Yep. Or you don't have a lot saved up. What can you do to make more? Like, all those tiny things can be taught in many different ways, and it's just like, why are we teaching children all sorts of unnecessary things that they don't need? Like, honestly, home ec was just, I loved Miss Lazar because Miss Lazar was my teacher.
That's one of them.
I found the class was so unnecessary.
You go to school to learn to cook.
I go to school to learn how to be domesticated.
Yes, not to cook, you're right, domesticated.
Like, I remember sitting there learning. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of it was important because we talked about like family systems and stuff like that. But why did I need to learn the layout of a kitchen, and that the kitchen should be in a L, and there need to be triangles from the fridge to the stove to the whatever is the next appliance, the sink. Like, why was that something I needed to know?
Feng shui, man. You need balance in your life.
You could teach me a kitchen layout, but you can't teach me how to bank.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird, but it's so. Even things like, okay, I'll give you an example of how I just sometimes just equate things to a failure of the system. I'm talking to someone and they're explaining to me about a friend and how the friend is chatting them and talking behind their back. And I'm thinking to myself, somewhere in your school life, I think right around grade 3 or 4, you would have had the same exact scenario happening and you just didn't learn the lesson then. This person is your friend. like as simple as it is, like, this person is not your friend. Your friend is not going to just stay there and continually
use and abuse,
undermine your successes. Every time you do something good, they're going to tell somebody such and such and such about you, and you're saying, why are you doing that there? Why? This person, you just never learn it. Like, even interpersonal relationships, navigating those, recognizing good traits in people, making conscious decisions about who you allow in your circle. Like, we don't do these things. I guess the suspicion is that we would learn this just by being around each other, but nope, inside work. Fast forward to the adults. Man running around every week is a new woman running around every week is a new man. And when you ask them what happened to the last one, every time we're in the car, he just do this. I couldn't take it on. I couldn't take it. I said, that's what you done the man for?
Pretty much.
that was it.
Pick your battles as it means.
He does just do this thing. He does just do this thing with the hat. He don't never actually pull on his hat all the way. He just on this side, like, I couldn't take it on.
Pick your battles as him. Pick your battles.
Yo, something went wrong somewhere in your childhood. I tell you, something went wrong somewhere in your childhood, bye. Right? Even me, I'd be like, I see like repetitive behavior. And I just got to stop there and think, like, me plan to learn this lesson. I could have learned this lesson a long time ago, but now it's become so habitual that I fall into the habit. And so now I have to consciously, I have to know that I'm aware, I have to consciously try to combat the habit. It's like I could have learned this in grade 3. I remember when Anthony do me this, and I remember I overlooked it. Why did I overlook it then?
I guess all of that could have been fixed if you had a morality class.
Yeah.
But you should have took something away from Christian living.
Oh, bye. Yeah, bye. What was the equivalent to Christian living in the first primary school I went to, bye? He had a term for it there. I can't even remember the name of the class.
Family planning? No, family planning? I think family planning was high school, no?
They used to call it family life when I was in
family life. That's it.
When I was in junior high, they had a family life, and then I think that's what they called it in Basta High too.
Family, I think it's family planning.
So okay, let me ask you a question. Miss Isaac ever taught you?
I don't remember.
I had with the guidance counselors.
If I remember correctly, I had about 3 family planning classes in my entire but when I say 3, I mean 3 class sessions. That class was only held 3 times in my entire time at Bassi High. Because it was put on our like timetable. That's what I call it? No, what I call it? Class table? What name? What we used to call it? Class schedule?
Timetable?
Something. That's what I call it? A timetable. You have timetables? Like your numbers?
No, the timetable.
I thought
they call it timetable
is your class schedule.
Yeah.
Right. So it was put on our thing. I think it was like every Friday morning or every Thursday morning, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically playtime. Like, because we knew nobody was going to show up. We didn't know who was assigned to teach. I think once Mrs. Armstrong came to, if I remember correctly, Mrs. Armstrong came and taught it once. And then somebody else taught it once. I don't remember if it was Mrs. Armstrong again. And then the next time was in 3rd form, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Richards taught it once or twice. So maybe 3 to 4 times and never again.
The thing is, the guidance counselors got so much going on, right? They ain't going on them classes they're gonna teach them.
They don't have time. They're busy managing classes.
I had Miss Bowie who was really good at that class though. In junior high. Yeah, Miss Bowie, she was really good at it. But that's because she made it very practical. You know, she made it very practical. And so it seemed very much aligned with where we were at the time. In 2nd form, they started to get little feelings for the girl who sit to the left. You know, so you're starting to trying to navigate these things. Puberty kicking off now. Things happening to your body. You wanna know where your voice squeaking every time you try to talk to the girl to this down. You know, these are things that children trying to navigate. You know, like these is real issues, and to be able to not only sit in a class where you could learn about what's happening to you, but also make everyone aware that what's happening to their classmates. Right? I think that is very important. But yeah, by some of these things here, yeah, conflict resolution, even just conflict resolution will save a lot of lives. Trust me. We'll save a lot of lives. Bye. Well. That was this week's episode of Grind Your Gears.
Yes.
Moral of the story. Count to 10 and get yourself a dog.
Honestly, get a dog. I don't even like get a dog. I think dogs are. I also think dogs are great for children.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a place of bias, but I really stand by that. I think dogs are excellent for children because it teaches children responsibility.
And if my father listening, my father thought a goat was best.
And it also gives children an outlet. Like they can go out, like especially like sing, like what the name? Only children. Like they go outside in the yard and they run up and down with a dog. There's somebody to play with. So there's somebody in a person, but there's somebody's a pet. And dogs, you know, you go outside, you play with the pet, you hug the pet, you feed the pet, you wash the pet. I mean, you might not do it the best, but it teaches you something. So it's like, you know, you might go bathe the pet and, you know, the child might truly just make a mess, but at the same time, the child is learning something. And, you know, it's all them tiny things. I mean, you might have to go wash over the dog properly. But there's just so many things like pets could teach, and pets are great for children. Pets are also like great outlets for children.
Brother, my father thought it best to buy me a goat. Till now, I don't know what he was thinking. Pops, if you're listening, that was a big mistake.
I'm so glad mommy when my parents allowed us to have pets, and a whole tree at once too. But
my father waking me at 5 o'clock in the morning to go up in the hill, go tie out goat there. See me coming from school, bring me goat in.
Can't wait to go home. I said can't wait to go home to play with the dog and just sit out outside and just chill with the dog, and you know, it's just run up and down, and then, you know, then go inside. I'm tired, but children, like dogs are just so much fun. Like that's why you just need dogs.
That was my thing. We had a bunch of dogs too. At one time, I think we had like 23 dogs in the yard. Like they just was around all the time. But by that go the back was something else. I think I end up sell them here. I was like, I want to be a businessman. I can't take on this. Oh boy. Parents, bye. I can't wait till my kids on the radio talking about all the ways I wrong them.
Yeah.
I can just be home laughing, bye.
Be home like, oh, it's like, you gotta come on my house.
With you saying, you think the family had 12 cats at once? No, see, that's a problem. That is a problem. Oh boy. Oh, Axman here telling me. Axman is here saying on the live that his mom got him a goat and a pig.
a double whammy.
Double whammy, boy. All he wanted was a cow.
Bro, Axman yourself.
Old MacDonald had an axe, boy.
Yeah. E-I-E-I-O.
Oh boy. Anyway, we have any updates during tea time today?
We do. Of course, we have your COVID-19 situation report, to which we will not report the full thing because we're tired, as are you. And we'll save the full update for Fridays. So, yeah. Because somebody messaged me that it was yesterday or the day before and was like, oh, how come y'all ain't reading all the numbers? I was like, do you mean the same numbers that don't have nothing to do with much?
Yeah, nobody care about them there.
So, I was like, we will recap the week on a Friday. So
like a plan.
Your COVID-19 situation report as of Wednesday, the 27th of October, 2021. Confirmed cases within the last 24 hours stand at 11. Active cases 165, which is impressive. You know, that was like half of what it was a few days ago.
Active cases was up like 1,200 at one point, yeah. So
right, there were 1,200, and then I think the last time I read it was 3 something.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're at 165. So we're doing good.
Watch all these people getting COVID when COVID out of style now. They're Elliot.
we don't ramp with COVID no more.
The hype done die out. You know is when you're getting COVID? That didn't pass.
Late to the party.
That day is the last month. Oh boy. Let's go do a COVID test quick. Well, before we run out, see?
I've had enough of those.
Why?
I've had enough
Come on.
of those.
A round figure of how many COVID tests you've had.
I told you, and I'm not exaggerating. Within a short...
You come like every 16 hours. You'd be telling me, I got no COVID. To me, it's like
about
mega COVID yet. Let me check again. Mega COVID yet.
I've truthfully probably had around 50 COVID tests within like a 6-month time span, and the majority of those tests, like probably 40 of those, happened within like 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh boy. Wow.
Like I was tested frequently because I was not with it. And then worse when I had that whole sinus infection situation in the summer. I really thought it was over for me,
Kevin is actively trying to get COVID. I think that's what going on now, and he's just checking to see, have I gotten it yet?
Like I win the lotto, like I want to win the lotto, and I have to keep checking the numbers.
Yeah, I want to. Oh man, but yeah,
I just was like, no man.
Yeah, bye. But we seeing a real decrease in the numbers. Guys, still, let us not fall into the trap that a lot of other places are falling into, and become complacent. Still, adhere to the protocols. Still, sanitize, wash your hands, all of that, and still bolster the immune system, guys. Healthy living. Now is the time. If you needed an excuse, use COVID.
Who's COVID?
Yeah, drink extra water, take your vitamins.
COVID got you covered.
But yeah, I keep stressing that because we see how some of these lifestyle choices and things that have affected the outcome for people who have had COVID. Particularly, people who are obese and overweight. So, guys, this ain't nothing. This is just me asking to make some healthier choices. Again, you ain't got to act like as if you're preparing for the Ironman. All you're doing.
You almost make me sing Night of Black Man.
Night of Black Man song. Ironman.
It was coming.
But you ain't got to act like you're going in for the Olympics, people. Small changes. Drink a little extra water. Take that sugary drink out of your thing. Watch. For those of you who still are trying to convince me that if you don't wake up and directly go and drink a big Coke, that you're gonna feel sick for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Yes, please.
Nonsense.
Please.
Nonsense.
There's people who literally just tell me, "Oh, I got to drink
without coffee."
I got to drink. Oh my god.
Yes, you can function without coffee. You just don't want to.
They drink a Coke to break up the gas. They got this thing. They just sell it in the stores, and actually, as a matter of fact, you could get it just walking around named tea. Maybe try tea if you want to break up the gas. Like, not go buy a big Coke. Really? Okay, my
thing is, how about you stop drinking a gassy drink to break the I'm thinking it can help you.
What happening is the gas where you're putting in coming back out, it ain't breaking up nothing. But anyway.
Precisely.
We have somebody trying to join the conversation. Good morning, caller 11 LNT.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I found your comments on the influence or impact of religion earlier very intriguing. I don't know how you separate morality and ethics from religion. The fact is, religion has its place in guiding human behavior, and if you didn't have it, just think that. Don't you think you would have been in a much worse place?
So I think that's why I started on the premise that I did. That's why I started exactly the way I did. I said that my belief is that we have morality and ethics in spite of religion, not because of religion. So if you have a different view, then I think we just kind of diametrically oppose on that.
You think it's in spite of? You don't think that religion influences a lot of people's view of morality and ethics?
Yeah, just like all other things in culture. Like just like all other things, whether it's the environment, whether it is, and when I say environment, I'm talking even your physical environment, right? I think all these things impact how people behave. What I'm saying is, a lot of times we act as if we have morality because of religion, and I don't believe that.
Okay, well, the golden rule, which originates in religion, is still a good guide to govern our interactions, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if, again, I don't believe that originated in religion. I don't think because of religion you should love your neighbor like as you love yourself. Like, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I think we're just on two different pages where that is concerned. I believe, like, for instance, I don't think we only know not to steal things that or take things that don't belong to us because it's part of some dogma.
Okay, so how do you think it evolved then? I mean, from the primordial state where, I mean...
Society. So society came up with these rules. So for instance, if two of us in the cave, right? If two of us in the cave, and I happen to run out and go pick this juicy fruit off of this tree, and I bring back two, and I sit there and I eat the two while you're hungry, and tell you, but if you want, you could go out and get, if you want. That breeds a certain type of feeling between the two of us. And I think that persons would have learned, like, hey, perhaps sharing goes well in helping us to coexist in a way where I don't have to worry about when I fall asleep in the cave that he can take up a rock and bang it in my head. Like, I don't think that came out of religion. Like, I don't think you had to have somebody teaching these things. I think these things came out as society developed. And I think those things are reflected in religion. So it's not like to say like I think religion doesn't impact that. But then again, I don't think we have it because of the dogma. I think the dogma reflects the societies that we hope to create.
But don't you think it took a higher power to tell those two men in the cave that there was a better way, as opposed to the stronger one saying, "Well, I taken yours"?
No, that's what I said. I think we oppose on that. I don't think the higher power is who told them that, like, you know, cave Jane. I don't think that's who. Yeah, I don't believe that.
Okay.
I believe it does. I believe religion does kind of package it in a way that makes it easy to teach and pass on. But I don't believe those rules came out of a higher being. Like, I don't believe we were given morality. I believe morality came out of a need for us to coexist.
But you realize, of course, that religion and Christianity certainly does offer dire consequences for not abiding by particular rules.
You mean hell?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. So, and again, that is one of the things that I believe can adversely affect people's behavior. So, for instance, because that is a delayed consequence, that's one. That's a delayed consequence, and also there is a workaround, which is repentance. So I believe if you tell a child, look, if you do this thing wrong, nothing can happen now. But in 5 years, this thing will happen. And if anywhere between now and then you say sorry, then nothing at all can happen. Well, and you'll get rewarded for it.
Yeah, that sounds like a contradiction, because in some sense it says, well, you can do the most heinous of acts and then just repent. And so you have people who go to church on Sundays and return to the same things, doing the same bad stuff on Monday, because they know that they can go to confession the next Sunday. I don't think that's exactly how absolution works, but
but see, now we're getting down into specific dogma now, as opposed to like the overarching religion. But I think people, I think it's dangerous to assume that we have morality because of religion, whether it's one religion or the next. And then when you have these monotheistic religions, in essence we are saying that this is the one true God, this is the one truth. Once people then don't subscribe to that, then does that mean they don't have morality, they don't have ethics, or we should not expect that from them? I don't think that is. And in the case of
Christianity, I think that's one of the few, if not the only religion that condemns all non-believers. I mean, even children.
No, all the monotheistic. All the monotheistic religions do the same thing.
If they don't conform.
Yeah, all the monotheistic. That's why I didn't say with Christianity. That's not a characteristic of Christianity alone. All the monotheistic religions. Once you have a religion that says there's one true God, then it obviously dismisses any belief in any others. So, yeah.
But in the final analysis, you do believe that religion has its place, and that the traditional things should be taught. Do you think you're any the worse for having been taught the traditional stuff?
No, but not only that. I grew up in church. I grew up, and I believe that there is no way that I could escape even if I wanted to, which I don't, but even if I wanted to, there's no way for me to escape the teachings that would have been given to me, right? And I don't think I should want to either, right?
Would you pass them on?
Yes, but I don't think I have to pass them on in the package of religion. So in other words, again, I don't think it's right to tell people that God said must share. I think we should teach people the benefits of sharing in terms of cooperation, mutual benefit, that kind of thing. But I don't think I have to pass it on and say God said must share. You understand? Sharing is good, not just because God says so, but because it allows us all to flourish. So I think so it's not that you're teaching different beliefs or different thoughts or different modes of action and that kind of thing. But sometimes I feel when you package it a certain way, then you allow people to dismiss it.
Okay. Well, but you realize, of course, though, that if you don't have consequences for not following those types of ethical and moral behavior, that many people will choose the path of least resistance or the most convenient path and don't adhere to them, right? So how do you, since you're not going to use religion to pass on those values, how do you, I don't want to use the word enforce, but...
No. Again, like I said, that is, I believe when you use religion, you give people away, that's the path of least resistance to me. If I, like for instance, let's take sharing, right? Part of the issue is that, like, if you don't share, then people are less likely to want to interact with you because they don't see you as it doesn't come off as a mutually beneficial arrangement. So I don't think I have to say God say must share, and if you don't share, you go hell. I think I could say if you don't share, people will not want to engage with you and interact with you, and then that leaves you out of certain activities. It takes away certain benefits, that kind of thing. Like, so I don't think I have to use hell as the or whatever other religious consequence to get people to recognize the importance of living righteously.
Okay, but you do realize
we're gonna have to continue this. I have a guest in the studio.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, man, I appreciate the conversation. But guys, we're gonna actually take a short break and be right back because we have very special guest in the studio with us today. Very excited for this conversation. Stay locked, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Island T right here on Win Media SKN.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Paint it, style it, improve it. Your walls, paint it. Your rooms, style it. Your home, improve it with huge savings at the Hospitals Building and Nevis Centers.